this walled city and blew the hell up. This is a unique place. Welcome to another edition of Soarin Scratchin. Lo and behold, my friend, the EagleFan, and myself, that evil chicken, we are on a quest, if you will. Right now, I need you to pretend that there's no such thing as the coronavirus, that we're on the other side of that, and that we have disposable income to beat the ban. Also, we have the luxury of having time not being an issue. So, the question is, what are some of your favorite places that you'd like to go, that you want to travel to? So, that's the topic. Let me ask you, Dave, what's on your list?
What's on my list? That's a great question. And
you came up with it.
Oh, that's right. I knew it was a great question for some reason.
There you are.
We also need to add that these locations that we're doing in this video are the international locations.
Oh, I forgot. Good point.
Please look for our domestic location video as well.
We're international men of mystery, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, baby. So first up.
Yes.
We are going to a nice little island over in Europe or outside of Europe. Iceland.
Ooh.
This is the only of the locations on here that I have that I'm actually mentioning a specific resort. So I'm trying not to go corporate or anything with this. This is a resort known as, and definitely forgive me here because I know I am going to butcher this name, Cashel Arctic Resort in Iceland. Ooh. Now, what is special about this resort? And I will just call it this resort because I'm not going to try to say that again. What's special about this resort? They have multiple places that you can stay, multiple style reservations and accommodations, I should say. They have things like log cabins. You can stay in a log cabin. I like the idea of staying in a log cabin. It's kind of cool. They have chalets. They have traditional houses. But for me, the big draw here is they have these glass-covered igloos. The glass over the top, in which you can stay in these igloos to watch and see the northern lights. What's also nice about this location is they actually get 8 months of the year you can get and see the northern lights.
That's amazing.
My understanding is these igloos you can only actually rent out during that time frame.
Okay.
But that's fine. That's really when you want to be in one of those igloos anyway. I mean, how awesome would that be? Basically, you're going to bed at night, looking up and seeing the northern lights above you. That just seems amazing. I would love to do that. One other little addition on that, they also have a little bit of a drawl there. It's kind of more of a family type drawl there. Place they call, it's a complete Santa's home. It's an entire Christmas home. It's decked out to be Santa's home. It's made up like Christmas. You can go in, you can take pictures and stuff, have the kids take pictures with Santa and all that. And it looks like it's just embracing the environment that they're in. They're in that nice, cold, northern Arctic environment, and they're just going for it. So
that's cool.
It's not a place you want to go to if you want to go swimming. But if you want to go up there and see some amazing sights and see the northern lights, it's definitely a place to go, and it's on my bucket list. So that's the first location that I have, sir. Now over to you.
Well, fair enough. Let's take our imaginary line on the map and go down to the Brittany region of France. In fact, we're heading specifically to a place called Mont Saint-Michel, France. Basically, Mont Saint-Michel is a tidal island on the mainland commute in Normandy, France. Basically, it's a monastery that is on an island, and it looks like it's plucked directly out of a storybook. Disney stole everything from this place. That place in the, I don't know, Hatton Castle or something somewhere in Germany. But this one here, it's magical. When the tides go out, there's a single road that goes to this particular monastery, this walled city. When the tides come back in, of course, it's an island. It's just an amazing thing to see. This abbey that's there, it dominates the top of the island, and it's been there for over 1,000 years doing what they do, and that's just remarkable. So that's for me, Mont Saint Michael, France, and the abbey there on the island.
Very
David,
cool.
what do you got?
Very cool indeed. So the abbey there, you said there's a road that goes to it when the tide comes out. So would that make it Abbey Road?
I like what you did there. There's these four French guys that like to walk across the.
After the dad joke is done here, back in my court, the second place that is on my list, the third of our list altogether, is we're going over into Asia.
Ooh.
We're going to a little country with just a few billion people, India.
Just a couple.
Or a few 100 million people, however many it is.
Give or take.
This is a region called Ladakh, India. It's up in the Himalayan region. It's actually an area kind of where India and China come together. It encompasses a place known as the Aksai Chin Plains, which was claimed by the Indian government, but it's actually been under Chinese control since 1962.
Wow.
Up until 2019. In 2019, it actually then became a region of the Jammu and Kashmir section of India, which Kashmir, as you may know, or may not know, some may know, is one of those sections that's highly contested between Pakistan and India. So, granted, it's somewhere up there in an area where when you get to there, it's a very isolated location. And it sounds like when you're in that little area, you're in kind of a safety zone, but you might not want to stray too far one way or the other if you've got some competing governments which don't necessarily see eye to eye to India.
Safety's an illusion.
What I really like about this, when you see it, it's like I said, it's kind of out in the middle of the Himalayas, so you've got beautiful, beautiful scenery. There's an area with a city that looks almost kind of like a Spanish type hillside city with the buildings on the side of the hill, and it just looks like just a beautiful place where you can actually go and get kind of in tune with history. There are sites in this area that date back all the way to the 1st century, with rock carvings and other carvings and temples. So if you really want to go feel in touch with the past, this looks like a place to go. The sites also look incredible from what I've seen. I've looked at some pictures here. There's pictures of a river going through the mountains. It just looks very appealing to me as a place I would like to see. Cool. It's, again, the whole safety is an illusion thing. You've got to kind of weigh one side versus the other. But that is my second item.
That's awesome.
Back to you,
like
sir.
Shangri-La. Wow, very cool. Me, huh?
Yes, sir.
Well, then let's go from this area. Let's head on over to Victoria, British Columbia. I usually prefer natural sites. However, this one's a castle. This is actually in Hatley Park there. In fact, it's called Hatton Castle in Victoria, British Columbia. This is a unique place. During World War II, the Royals they didn't pull this trigger, but they almost moved their base of operations to this place in British Columbia. It's a beautiful castle. And you'd know it if you saw it, rather. Forgive my vernacular. So You'd know it from several different movies. If you've seen any of the X-Men films, it's Xavier's mansion. It's been in Arrow. It's been in Deadpool. All sorts of things. So you've seen it. It's beautiful. There's like 40 different rooms. You can go through it. It would be just a unique architectural, historical place to visit. And I've always wanted to be an X-Man. So,
Perfect.
Dave, what do you got?
I kind of like that. Go up there, be an X-Man. I am going to go with my third item on here. We're halfway through our list now. This is item number 5 of ours. I'd also like to point out that these are not in any specific order. So we're not ranking them best to worst, worst to best.
That's beyond the
These are
scope.
just 10 locations that, based upon your taste and our tastes, we would really like to get to.
Yeah.
I'm also going with the same theme here, where I'm not going with the easy names here, like my friend over there has been so far. We are coming back over to the European area, going up into the Scandinavian region for this one. We're going to Norway. It is, and again, forgive me if I'm saying the name here wrong, Lofoten, something like that, archipelago in Norway. It's an archipelago that has just the scenery there is so beautiful. There is again, forgive me for this, Salvagergiete Pinnacle, which you can then see basically up in the sky just beyond the not even the ocean, but I guess the bay that's coming in there. Right. There's also other mountain ranges and mountains that you can see from there. They also have a Viking museum, a Viking museum. Who wouldn't like going to see a Viking museum over in Norway? What's that?
I thought you said biking. Like,
no, a Viking museum. A Viking museum in Norway. Come on. How can you not like that?
When you put it that way.
And actually, speaking of biking, they do have bike routes that cover the islands.
There.
So if you do like biking, you can go there as well. They have some nice little fishing villages and very colorful buildings and wonderful waterways. Really, me talking about it does not do it justice. You're going to see some pictures here, which will show you a little bit about what it looks like there. It just looks like a very beautiful place to go. Expect it to be a little bit colder. You're going to be up there in Norway, so depending on what time of year you go, also depends on what you want to see. So that is my third. It's back in your court, sir.
Ka-ting! All right. Well then, if that's the case, let's talk about a little place called Lake Como, and this is in Italy. It's a glacial lake, well, in Italy. And Italy has a specific way of building these beautiful towns and cities around the sheer rock walls of cliffs and mountains. And they usually build them nicely around bodies of water. And that's kind of what Lake Como is. It's the 3rd largest lake in Italy. It's about 400 meters deep. So it's a deep one. That's the 5th deepest lake in Europe, outside of Norway, one of Dave's places. It's been a resort since Rome. And so it's been around a while. So the Romans used to come here to get away from it all. I guess it was kind of like Cape May to them. They said, you know what? Let's go to Cape May. Let's go to Lake Como. That's a horrible Roman accent, by the way. Anyway, it's simply beautiful. As you can see in the picture right here, it's gorgeous, and it's on my to-do list. It would be wonderful. So, Dave, what do you got?
Okay, I am taking us over to Cyprus now with my 4th entry into this list.
Interesting.
This is St. Hilarion Castle in Cyprus. It lies in a mountain range known as the Kyrenia Mountains,
Okay.
Kyrenia Mountain Range in Cyprus. This is something that dates back to the 10th century is when construction started on this particular castle.
That's amazing.
Looking at the scenery and being able to basically seeing the castle on the hill and then the sights you can see from the castle itself just looks like something I would really like to see. Actually, as a interesting aside note on this, apparently there is a Saint Hilarion
Hilarious.
who was active in Palestine and Cyprus up until the 4th century. Everyone initially thought this was actually named after him. It's actually not.
Really?
It's actually named after some other obscure saint who traditionally was told to have fled to Cyprus after the Arab conquest of the Holy Land to basically that hilltop. And that's where the castle was built as an homage to that particular saint. Not the saint that everyone knew, but another saint with the same name that was just
He's an imposter.
Yes, apparently.
Saint imposter.
So who knew that ID theft was an issue back in the 4th and 5th century?
Here you go. That sounds like a good one, though, Dave. Holy cow.
Now, much of this castle was dismantled by the Venetians back in the 15th century. So it's just a lot of remains up there now. And I've got some pictures of that you'll see here and you can see in the pictures that it's definitely only a partial castle there now.
Gotcha. Well, speaking of remains, my next spot that I'd absolutely adore to go to one of these days, it's definitely on my bucket list. I want to drag the family to this one too, because it's called the Rock of Cashel. It's in Ireland. There's a cathedral there that's in ruin, but it still stands. The walls still stand. There's no roof. It's a fascinating place, and I'm very curious though about the cemetery, and here's why. Some of the things that they have in a lot of different cemeteries are crosses, as you know, and some of them are like they have these big edifices and things like that. Well, in Cashel, there's something called the Scully Cross, and it was built. I'm not exactly certain. The 12th, 13th century. That's when the abbey went up in the cathedral, but the cross itself, I'm not sure where that happened. But I do know that it's in ruin now, because in 1976, the Scully Cross was struck by lightning and blew the hell up. So I'd like to go there and see and take pictures of my family's curse, just to document it. So, but no, it's an interesting place, even if this Scully Cross wasn't there in ruin. It's just an amazing archaeological site and historical site there in Ireland, and I'd like to check it out. Dave, what do you got?
And since it was struck by lightning, if you know exactly when, if you do go back in time to see it happen, you could get back
1.21 gigawatts. That's all I need, babe.
Exactly. Okay, my last entry onto this list. We are going to Poland.
Ooh.
We are going to, and again, I'm really not good at picking these because I'm picking things that I really cannot say. This is the...
We'll learn before we go.
Wilecka salt mine in Poland. This is actually a salt mine which dates all the way back to the 13th century. And in 1978, it was actually placed on the original UNESCO list of World Heritage Sites.
Really? Wow.
They finally discontinued mining back in 1996. Now, there is a little bit of a bad history here, or something that's been around that long. Of course, there's going to be a little problems with it. Back in World War II, it actually was a location that the Nazis used to send Jews to a work camp.
Okay.
But
To the salt mines, huh?
aside from that, it just, looking at the inside of this, it looks like you're going through crystal. It's just, it looks amazing what they've done. They've kind of turned it into a place you can go for tourism now. There's carvings, there's statues. It's a very, very incredible looking location. I would really like to get there. Just everything that I've put on here are all these things where I don't know how realistic it is that I'm ever going to get there, but I would like to get there to be able to say I saw that.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, I guess that leads to my fifth entry in this particular journal. And Dave, this is something that you and I need to go to, especially since I signed up for the waiting list. Dave, we need to go to, and please forgive me, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, Itzenhall in Schleswig-Holstein, Germany. And here's why. It is the site for the Wacken Open Air Metal Festival. Yeah, Dave, I signed up for us to buy tickets if they become available. And granted, it would be like $300 a pop, and I'd have to get a passport, but I think we could do it.
Yes.
So
yes.
it's
yes.
For those of you playing at home, let me read this. Put on these goggles. It's the largest heavy metal festival in the world. It's big, and it draws like, let me see here, from between 2011 and 2018, it numbered about 85,000 people. It was canceled for this year due to obvious reasons. It's huge. I think there's 9 stages, Dave, isn't there?
I believe so.
It's like a city of rock. And it would be awesome.
I know the one year that I looked, it's 4 days.
Okay.
And the one year that I looked and saw how many bands, it's like 150 bands played in like 4 days.
Dude.
And it's not like a concert where it's just one stage, like you said. There's multiple stages. Mm-hmm. So you do also have to kind of plan out your day a little bit.
Very strategic.
Because you want to see which stage you want to go to for which groups.
Exactly.
Which also tells you how big this is. Because it's not like you can just have stages sitting right next to each other with 2 rock concerts blaring, and you'd never understand either concert.
Exactly. And at least 2 of those stages are massive friggin' stages. These are the stages that you see in the videos where there's huge screens on either side, and there's the band's here, and all the pyrotechnics are here. And there's 2 of those stages, let alone 8 others around this venue, and they're playing for 4 days. And Dave, we gotta go.
I haven't looked up how big that the grounds are, but I remember in an online conversation with some people about that, and they were saying that, okay, they were in this one tent watching this one band,
right? And
one of the people with them started to feel ill, and they're like, well, they've got to get to the medical tent, and this, well, that's over a mile away. So it's not like just a little tiny fairgrounds.
No, it's not. But the beautiful thing is medical services. I happen to copy this down. A festival this size needs a capable medical services. They're called the Wacken Rescue Squad. Every year, hundreds of helpers from various organizations from all over Germany arrive before the festival to prepare the medical camp and care for people in need during the event. So there's about 100 different EMTs ready to rock and rescue and swoop in when you need to. Check this out. The site itself is more than 240 hectares. What's that? I don't know. I'm an American. I'm stupid. So let me break that down. That is 593 acres. 593 acres, which is divided by about 45 kilometers of fence. The inner area is 43,000 square meters. A meter, for those of you playing at home, is a little bit smaller than a yard.
A little bit more than a yard.
No. You see, I'm an American. I'm dumb. Back in the 70s, we should have switched.
It's
Don't
like
lie.
39 inches, I believe.
It's only the whole world that's metric, not us. So there's more than 1,300 toilets, more than 500 showers, 12 megawatts of power. It's big. I want to go with you, Dave. And lo and behold, we're on a list. So we'll see what happens.
We're probably on a few lists by now.
We're on so many lists, it's just not funny. Or funny, depending on your point of view.
So that was our 10 locations.
There you are.
Please let us know if you've been to any of these. Let us know your thoughts on them.
Give us some tips. We want to know.
To them, let us know your thoughts on going to see them, if it's something that you would go and see. And also, please let us know other places. We want to hear as much as we can. It's a great big world out there.
And one of these days, I hope we do. And so therefore, keep smiling. And thank you. Thank you for watching. Who knows? There might be another video soon.
Could very well happen. Keep your eyes to the sky and your ear to the ground. Be safe, everybody.
Word.